that for those of you who don't know, John is our clerk's wife, husband, sorry. John is our clerk's husband. And Elizabeth, our clerk, is in America because her mother is seriously ill. And John is doing technically, and I can see Elizabeth on that screen very clearly. And I think when she speaks, she will probably appear quite large on that one. So she will keep me in order and make sure that I don't make any mistakes. Can I just welcome the whole parish council and introduce you all? Those of you who don't know Mike's face, he's our new member. You now know Hayley, you know Polly, you know me, you know Ewan, and you know Michael. We have two Michaels, so is it Mike and Michael? Is that okay?
Both Mike, I think, right?
Okay. Well, there may be a few confusions then, but we're
My
on.
Mike too.
Number one is to receive a report from Paul Oakway. Paul is at the parish council meeting in Uphaven at the moment and is going to join us later. Comments from members of the public to be considered by the council. Now, I do know that Emma wants to make a comment and ask about the barge, but I'm going to hold that until just before we do the barge. Is that acceptable to everybody?
And I think John wants to participate in that too. So can we add John onto that list?
We can certainly add you, John. That's fine. Thank you. I suspected that was why we were now coming round to you, but that's fine.
Could be another problem.
Okay. I hope there aren't too many problems tonight. To sign the declaration of office for all councillors, right? We have to sign, all of us have to write our name on the top line, and then if you would witness each other's, and then pass it around, and then other people witness each other's signatures. Is that all right?
And the top bit of the bottom bit.
I'm guessing you sign, the person whose name appears on the top line signs the first where it says sign, and then your signature is witnessed by you and you, or me and you, whatever it is, as long as they're two different witnesses.
Okay. Marvellous.
I didn't
Now, Polly,
listen
you
to
were
those
a bit-
instructions.
No, I didn't.
Yes, we'll just swap.
Yeah.
I can do the day.
How many signatures are you putting in the bottom?
Is that a print and sign at the bottom?
No, that's,
Oh, so much.
so it has to be witnessed by two people.
I'll put
So
the date
I'm-
on for you.
Yeah, please put the date on for me.
Right, here's two.
Thank you.
Actually, Polly, you've done the vice chairman, you haven't yet been voted as vice chairman, you have to do a parish council.
Well, of course, that was what we did.
Oh, no, you have two.
I was, oh, did I? Oh, God.
Just do that one as well. We'll come to that in a second.
Right, sorry, it was the first one. So.
So we take those two
We
around.
need two, it needs to be witnessed by two people, so I'm going to witness. Two signature around. Yes.
That's two there, yeah.
That's fine for Michael and you. Telephone.
Robert, I signed yours, I think you know.
I do. That's me as a parish councillor. If you can sign that. Sorry about this, everybody, but we'll get it sorted out.
Those two are
I'm trying
complete.
to share. Right, okay, so I need this one.
Oh, that went across. I didn't understand how I got there. Fine. It hasn't been dated.
Magic.
Right. Now, I think we've all done that. Have we done Hades as well? Is Hades there?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I've got two, and I'm not allowed to do this one yet.
No, we'll just, that's you as a parish councillor.
Yeah. That'll keep all of that.
And just put this Polly's signature. Now we have to elect a chairman, and I'm offered to be chairman and been asked if I would stay as chairman. I don't want to be chairman forever, please. Would you all know? But if you would like me to be chairman, I'll remain chairman for the next 6 months at least.
Brilliant.
Thanks.
Are you all in favor? Anybody against that? Oh, what a pity. Okay, so I'm going to sign it, and then Polly will counter-sign it.
Robert, you need to vote for that. That needs to be a proper vote.
Okay, can we have a proper vote? Can we have a proposal that I'm chairman from somebody? Yep. From Michael?
I'll
And
second.
Second from Polly. Is that okay? And no abstentions are there or objections? Right.
Thank you.
Sorry, there's so much paperwork to sign. 2021. Polly's going to witness my signature. And now we have, if I'm going to push on, an election for a vice chair. I would like to propose Polly. Would anybody second that? Ewan will second it. And can we have a vote? Is anybody against? Or anybody wants to abstain? So that's carried unanimously as
Can I
well.
vote?
No, you can't. Polly, now, which is yours? As we've done yours.
No, mine's here, the
Oh,
vice
right.
chair is here.
Vice Chair, I signed it. Could you sign that? And could you sign that? Thank you, everybody. That is that done, which is really good news. We have no apologies for absence. Is that correct?
No, you have not. You will notice a slight change on the agenda tonight on item 4, and that is to approve apologies for absence. And just very quickly to say, going forward, best practices, council should now be approving when apologies are provided. So you will see that word change in your agenda going forward, but you have no apologies tonight, so it doesn't apply.
Declarations of interest and applications for dispensation. I don't think we have any. Does anybody have any? Does anybody have any? Is that all right, Elizabeth? Can I move on?
Yes.
Presumably, as we've now all signed this, item number 6 is irrelevant as well. Is that correct?
I'm sorry. Say that one more time.
Item number 6, to agree a meeting date by which outstanding declarations of acceptance. We've already done that, so we should be able to move on. Is that correct?
Yes. So if everybody has signed, you don't have anything, you can move on. There's nothing to agree there.
Minutes of the previous meeting. I have the draft minutes of the previous meeting. Does anybody have any reason why I can't sign them now? I've only got the draft minutes here, Elizabeth. Do I sign the draft ones? Or do you send me another copy and we note now that it's approved for?
If you approve those, sign that one, and I can send you. If there's a break in, I need to look at the document again. It's been too long to see. I'll send you the others to sign. Unless, John, did you bring a copy by chance?
Okay, everybody.
Okay.
Who's got any queries with the minutes of the last meeting? Mike Spence, you won't have any obviously because you weren't here. But I think they're fine. Do we need to approve and second, Elizabeth?
For the minutes, yes, please.
Can we have well, I'll first. Anybody going to second?
Yeah.
Polly, thank you. So that's approved. Is that all right? And do I have to sign every page? I do, don't I?
You do need to initial, yes. And might I recommend for the new councillors that were not present at the last meeting that they abstain from approving them because they weren't actually a part of the meeting itself.
Okay. Yes, that's he has abstained. And the date is the 20th May. Right. Thank you. The chairman's announcements. Well, I would like to welcome all the visitors that we have here, and I've asked you all to leave a contact name, which you've all done, and track and trace. So thank you very much. I'm personally glad to be back in the hall and seeing you all live and face to face It's much more real. I know if you don't approve or you do approve of something, it's easier to sense what we're doing. May I welcome our new parish councillor, Mike Spence. Thank you, Mike, for stepping forward. I was going to say this in his presence, but I'll say congratulations to Paul Otway on becoming our new Wiltshire councillor, where he won about 70% of the vote. And Paul is going to turn up later tonight. He does an enormous amount for us as a parish council. My thanks to the was with us for about 2 years, I think, and Alex Oliver was with us for, I believe, up to 10 years. Alex's architectural planning knowledge and everything will be sadly missed. I just wish that more people in this village would step up to the duty of parish councillor during their time in the village. We still have one vacancy, says I'm looking at the barge people. We still have one vacancy, and if you know, I think it's really good if someone would like to volunteer to do. So a big thank you to Carol and Alex for their time on the police.
Yeah.
Thank you. We've merged the annual meeting into this one meeting. In the past, we've always done 2 meetings, one at 7 o'clock and one at 7:30, so we get the paperwork over in the first one. But Elizabeth informed me that we could merge them, and it's quite a good. I'm quite glad we have, because the number of councillors who forgot it started at 7 rather than 7:30. There's only one meeting a year. It happened quite often, so that's good. I have today placed a notice on the village notice board about road closures, and those of you who know the enormous flooding there is down at Bacon's Corner opposite Well Cottage where Mike lives, will be glad to hear that on July the 5th, the road south of the canal will probably be closed for, I think, about a week or two. And it may affect you in the pub, and it may affect all of us. Certainly near you, and they're going to be difficult. I don't know exactly what they're doing, so that's that. Planning, the appeal for the new entrance or the retention of an entrance for Chandler's house into the road has been refused, as the council had wished for a long time, so we're very glad about that.
And they are digging.
It's
So
nearly
then-
done, it's done.
It's
So-
done. You dug it up.
So
Thanks,
that-
put back, yeah.
Oh, good, and they're going to put some trees back on the fence, hopefully.
Well, along that hedgerow, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's really good news, really good news.
Yeah.
We still do not know the outcome of the land north of High Street being given permission to become a car park. But as we have John here, I might turn and ask him if he knows anything about that.
Nothing at all.
Oh.
All I know is an appeal.
Yes, there was an appeal, but-
Nobody's heard anything.
Nobody's heard anything.
The planning report that Elizabeth sent said that it was still in progress.
It's still in progress, but it was going to be announced in January or something really early, so. Okay, well, that's the end of my chairman's message. And I hope it was short and sweet. Right, the council delegates authorised now this. I'm probably going to turn over to Elizabeth for this one. That the council delegates authorise authority to the clerk in consultation with the chairman to take any actions necessary with associated expenditure to protect the interests of the community and ensure council business continuing, informed by consultation with the members of the council. The scheme of the delegation will be the scheme of the delegation will be reviewed no later than the 30th of September this year. Elizabeth, would you like to say something about that?
Just to say, this has been a recommendation of practice that has been handed down from the national group and SLCC and NALC, which is the National Association of Local Councils. The reasoning for this at this particular time is to help continuity of business in councils. So you're all being asked now to meet in public. They're still reopening from the COVID epidemic over the last almost now, 18 months. And so whilst you are being expected to meet in public, they would like you to meet as minimally as possible. So what this delegation does is allows for you not to always have to come together in person until September. It's if you've got a planning application that can just be decided upon for comment, that's, you know, obviously not considered something that the public would be quite upset about or had any kind of controversy around it. It just removes you meeting for unnecessary reasons, but keeps the continuity of business for the parish council running. So that is why it has been recommended by the national bodies that support parish council work. And just to clarify as well, any of the decisions, should you opt to go this way, or any of the information, if you opt to give delegated authority, will be in the public environment. All of it will.
And does that mean we're not allowed to have Zoom meetings in future?
That is correct. At the moment, you are not allowed to have Zoom meetings.
Fine. So so the idea, just to recap, is to make meetings less frequent to save us from the COVID, should it come again. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Can I ask, does anybody want to ask Elizabeth any questions? Do you any
No,
questions?
I think I understand. Yeah, we need to meet face to face.
We need to meet face to face, but also we can have less meetings that we can decide with my authority and Elizabeth's. I believe is that correct, Elizabeth?
It is. I mean, a good example of something that you would potentially use this for would be a routine decision for life insurance renewal. Life insurance, sorry. Life on my brain. For insurance. Parish council insurance is something that you must have. It renews. You wouldn't bring the whole council, or you wouldn't need to bring the whole council together to make that one decision. You could do that in a different way. So it's just a different model for the moment.
Thank you. And so we have to vote on that if we want to. I think I better not vote, as I'm one of the I would be one of the signatories to you. So if one of you would like to propose it and one of you would like to second it and then vote on it, I think that would be the way to go. Am I correct?
Yes, unless you have any other questions. I mean, then you would take a vote. Yes.
You have any questions, anybody?
No, sounds good.
No, I'll propose.
Polly's proposed, Haley seconded. Could you all vote? I think I'll abstain as I'm part of the. So all in favour except for me, and I've abstained.
Okay. Microphone's a little bit sketchy on that. Who was the second? Who seconded?
Haley. It was
Haley.
unanimous and I abstained. That's
Okay.
unanimous. Can I move on?
Yes.
Right, to receive a representation from on the Honeyfest and discuss the barge campsite. Now, I know we have two people, John and Emma, who wish to talk about it. Which way shall I go? Shall I ask the campsite and the barge to talk first? We really want reassurance. That's all we're after, Skylar. So I'm going to ask Skylar to talk about, you're on the campsite and your colleague whose name has escaped me is the barge.
Yes.
Sorry, what's your name?
Joe.
Joe, sorry, I've been so rude, I beg your pardon. So if you'd like to speak, Skylar, we'd love to hear you.
Hi everybody, so I'm Jenny's daughter. I'm doing all the admin, everything stuff apart from the muscle, pretty much. In 2019, before I was here working, the architecture was put ahead, and it's a success from as far as I know, everybody and the community as well. From the email, I've seen that there's a few things that have been raised, such as traffic, noise, parking, and the use of the second field. So I'll just go over a few things that we're going to do to mitigate any of those issues. So first off with the traffic, we're going to have a staggered event. So most of the staff will be on site by Wednesday, which is approximately.
Can I ask you a question before you're just talking about the weekend of Honeyfest, aren't you? So everybody's clear, it's not the just so we're talking about. Okay, thank you.
So most of the staff will be on site by approximately Wednesday, which will be about 150 I forgot to mention, apologies, we haven't contacted you regarding the festival just yet, because there's still some final details that we're sort of waiting for, sort of before the stage, pre-announcement, such as we still haven't contacted, well, we haven't had any response back from the council on exact decibels, and we also have put our security, which will be but we will let you know when that's been arranged, which hopefully we moving back onto the traffic, we are going to have stewards at the top of the wood yard and positioned by the car park entrance. Also, it's a normal influx for this weekend, 499 people is the maximum people we can have on site anyway. And we are having a licensed bar outside. Leaving on the Monday will be flexible with the public, and we've asked most staff to stay on site until at least Tuesday or Wednesday. That means we won't have too many cars leaving on Monday. We have had a proportion of the public that would like to stay at least the Tuesday night, which will help celebrate even more. And we've also got some people coming earlier on Wednesday, and some people that have been staying for a week or so before. We have had a thought about putting some speakers on the road to prevent them speeding along the lane, obviously with the permission from the locals, which we were going to ask us to do here. And yeah, so we also think that some of the 499 won't be on site apart from for their performance. So there is about 20% of the bands that won't be staying on site as well. So actually there will be less than that on site. To help mitigate the noise, we're going to have a decibel meter which will be measured hourly up by John's house and also Robert's house. And we'll check with the council again for the exact figures, obviously with COVID and stuff like that. They've been answering those questions first. We're going to put noise reduction measures in place, such as hail bales, and we're going to put all the sound enhancer space in the west. There will be a night warden throughout the camping field, which will be the second field, and the main field will be shut during the evening, apart from the pub. That's the closest and with the people activity in there. What's the main field? So the main field is the field of the pub and bar one, so the entrance field, and the second field is the one with the cars parked in. So for music outside, we're only having music until 11 PM to make sure that there is no overrunning. All of the music acts will be planned to finish at 10:30 in case there's an encore, which usually happens, so we're giving a good amount of time for that stuff. And we're actually putting performance on in the barn to encourage everyone to go back into the barn and the pub afterwards. So 11 o'clock, so performance in there, so that will attract a lot of the crowd inside.
Until what time?
Our music license is until midnight. So just be for the last hour, and actually 2 of the nights are just service performances, so it won't be music. And I say, I don't know, 2 to 1. So the parking, we're going to have stewards in place and we'll train before the event happens to make sure that everyone is being put into the second field. And with the use of the second field, which is sort of festival based / year round based, I've made you guys a calendar of all the days that we'll be using the second field. The campsite isn't used during the week. All of the days apart from the festival. The second field is only used for car parking, and as has given permission to the local community, a lot of the basement community, to park in the second field to stop traffic and parking along the lane, from the wood yard, and also in our own car park. So this is council visit. So that second field is purely used only weekends. If you want to think of more involved at all, contact me if you want to join in, because obviously it's going on. It'd be lovely to have you there. And we're also going to have external stewards for safety and security. So we're going to have our own stewards doing all of the car parking and ushering, but we will have safety and security just keep everyone safe and it's everyone can we want to make sure that everyone's safe. And we can let you know which company, but also join your site map. Then once that's been confirmed, we can send that to you as well. I think
How will you manage resident security? If you're not actually going to the festival, if you've got people at the top of the phone, how do you stop? How do you make allow people to get to their homes? If you've got security stewards.
so the stewards will have the job and everything, that will just be making sure that everyone knows where they're going, because there'll be a portion of people that probably haven't come too far before. It's to just make sure that travel is going quickly enough, so people aren't stopping, going where do I go, because we get it anyway. They're not sure where the campsite is, make sure the cars are getting moving very quickly. So the ones, I only mentioned ones externally, but internally at the campsite, myself and my father and probably the stewards at the main gate of the campsite, and I'll leave you at the end of our lane, and also in the second field to direct the traffic as quick as we can, make sure that it's not being.
You say 499 people. How are you going to? Are you selling tickets in advance?
Yes.
So if you don't have a ticket, you can't come.
Yes.
So there will just be literally 499
Yeah,
tickets
there's no.
on sale, and they can't come.
Does that include the staff
Yes, that would be the start.
and the bands?
And the bands, yeah.
Okay,
You said
great.
there were quite a lot of staff, so that means.
Once we've got all the stewards come, but we're inviting, it's to invite the community and have a nice time as well. So, with all the bands, like I said, a portion of them don't want to stay, it's not their kind of thing in camp. They'll be coming to perform, and they'll leave, so they'll probably come later in the evening. We're also going to send a message out to make sure that all people that have put tickets have kind of got all their essentials and then they need to leave the site. You don't really want people coming in and out of the site anyway. So actually, it probably be a less traffic busy weekend on Saturday and Sunday than it would be on an average weekend.
So I'm assuming you've got security fences all the way around to prevent people coming in.
There is a fence and
Yeah.
there's all around the site anyway. No, we're not putting up an extremely high.
But
fence.
Yeah, but people need to come in at one place and show they've got a ticket
Yeah.
and not be able to jump over.
Oh, no, so the external security will be handling, inside the pub, there's a door into the pub and the bar. And then the two gates, they're sort of enclosed in the back garden of the bar, will have stewards on as well. The outside one will likely be an external steward, and we'll also have an external steward, especially evening time at the camping gate.
I mean, to be honest, there should only be one entrance.
Yeah, and the canal. Help people, they can come in on the canal, they can come through.
Yeah, there should only be one entrance. One
There
entrance.
is only one entrance, which is the camping gate.
Yeah, and everything else should be locked.
Yeah.
Everyone that's partaking in the festival will armband on. The only one that do.
But you need to physically,
I think what Colin's worried about is when they did the Honey Fest originally. when
You didn't have camping, did
It
you?
was completely.
no, we had only one day.
But
Yeah.
it was
But we had security fencing
Security
all the
fencing
way
all
around, and there
around.
was only one entrance.
I think the worry is that with Glastonbury and places like that not taking place at the moment, there may be a lot of people who, let's say, are going to try and get in, and unless your security is really good, what we don't want to do as a village, what we're particularly worried about, is an influx of people who have not got tickets and complete chaos in the road, on the door, and people walking down the tow path, getting into the back of the pub, and instead of 499, you'll have 5,099.
You really do need,
I think that's.
you need security fencing all the way
Easy
around,
access from
and you
half
need one access, and you need, somebody there saying, yeah, you've got a ticket, okay,
Yeah.
great, you're in. Otherwise, you've got no idea, I mean.
We're not expecting, even though that's the legal limit for 499 people, we're not expecting that many people.
Lenny, you might not be expecting them, love, but I'll tell you, they're gonna come.
Well,
Can I just,
Yes, I was going to throw it over to you, John, and then.
yes,
Yeah,
well, if they're using the field which they've been using since 12th of April, every day.
Yeah.
Even if they're on 28 days without a planning permission, even if it's been extended to 56 days, where are they going to have Honeyfest then? In the
Where are
campsite?
We've only been using the weekends.
No, you haven't.
It's not
There's been
possible.
But hang on,
vehicles in
it
that
lives
field.
there.
I live there, Lenny. There's been vehicles and vans in that field every day since the 12th of April. Constant. There's not been one day there hasn't been a vehicle in that field.
Vehicles in that field, apparently.
And what I'm going to say now, that is not your problem. You've asked the farmer if you can put those vehicles in the field. If you can use it for a campsite, you're paying him, but the farmer is in breach of legislation because he should be the
You're not
one.
using that field, everything, the surrounding fence that puts up, it needs to be returned to agriculture. It
Yeah.
needs to be totally empty, no toilet blocks, no caravans.
You've got
no
42 days. You've
So to
got 42
buy-
days continuous use.
So I don't know what, we're only using. the-
Well, you want to start looking at legislation before you start planning things, because we've got it all here in black and white.
So you say that you can't have, if you have council there during the week, you can't.
Yeah,
No,
that's
that's right.
Can I just say something, and read into this, if you read the legislation, it is not a stop-start policy. From the day that you first enact the 56 days, the clock ticks. You can't decide you open it for 2 days, then 3 days. Unfortunately, that's what the legislation is. And also,
And it's the
56
farmer
days
that's
is
in
wrong.
breach. It's the farmer that's in breach of the legislation because he's given you permission to do it. He's the one, and he's supposed to have insurance to cover any accidents that happen or anything that's going on there. He needs insurance to cover it. We've got it all written down here. It's all in.
it doesn't come back to you guys, it'll be down to John. John will get himself into trouble.
So if the enforcement officer comes along, the enforcement officer will go to Trowbridge's and not to you, because they're the ones that are in breach of it.
Well, what we'll do is, like I said, I haven't heard, I didn't receive email back.
But, and the other thing is, if you're going to plan it having Honeyfest, you're going to take all your car park through the actual place where you're going to have the festival. If you're going to intend putting them in Trowbridge's field, you're going to have to take all those cars through where you're going to actually have the festival, which is in the campsite. Well, that's not, that I'm sure it's the health and safety you really like that.
On Thursday.
But the last time we had a Honeyfest, which was organised correctly, we had car parking at the top of the road in Trowbridge's field and a separate entrance into the back of the festival site behind the pub. And that worked okay. And the road going down to all the houses didn't need to be used.
No, that's true.
So it was fine. And it was organised properly.
That was the one I was involved in.
That's right.
Can
But we
I,
were all involved, Polly, because we
Well, we're all
got
involved,
sat
yeah.
around the table and discussed it.
Yeah.
ask Emma to comment if she'd like to, and then we'll throw it open again. Because I do think there's some serious issues here, which we need to.
There is,
try
there's
to
a lot
resolve.
of serious
Couple of my questions have been answered, but my main concern was first, to be honest, my focus wasn't on Manifest. I am concerned about Manifest, but I'm far more concerned about the weekend in, weekend out.
I agree with you on that.
Yeah. In the village, and for the whole of the summer, that is really my main concern, without any sort of consultation or discussion with the village and the community at large. It's a huge campsite. And I wanted to echo what John said. I was going to make the same point that I walk that route regularly, so I see the field regularly, and every time I walk past it, there's been cars and vehicles in it. There's never been a point in which it's not been used, as you quite rightly said, from much earlier in the year. So these 56 days will be over in the nanosecond, as far as I can see, way before we get to Honeyfest. If we are going to have a big expansion of the camping activity at the barge, then I really think it's, I don't know whether it's law or whether it's just the right thing to do, but the right thing to do is to involve the village and have a discussion about how that works and what people's concerns are and how, and before you do it, not after the case, just present people with a sort of fait accompli, which I think is in part of the point you were making when I wasn't here then, obviously, about when having to pass around before. It sounds like it was more of a sort of village, project, and so things could get addressed So I would like to see that approach taken, but to the expansion of camping, if there's going to be expansion of camping, which I'm not a fan of, I'll be upfront about it, then that should be a much broader conversation. The reasons I'm not a fan of it, just FYI, are that the noise levels, not from using the garage, not from, but the noise levels from the campers, from music playing, from people screaming and shouting, from which might, and I'm at some distance, I don't know what it's like with John or Robert, but even at my distance, you know, when I'm sitting out in the garden at the weekend, that's what I hear. And the thought of that going on in the summer, to be honest, is, you know,
I'm saying, this weekend, I'm on child myself, and this weekend we're actually employing someone to walk the campsite until very early hours in the morning.
that's
All you is to be switched off,
right.
very, you know, hours to shout by midnight. And you're not allowed to have the speakers on or anything, or any sort of, you know, anything like that.
Well, that is reassuring. So we'll see if there's a difference going forward. I'll definitely use them out.
And could you stop bagpipes as well?
I think the other thing I wanted to say was, which again is partly addressed by the earlier conversation, is I don't know what the Cherry Bridge's responsibilities are. Because I know obviously they've used you, I can see that for myself. I know you can do it for myself, I'm friendly with them. I don't really want to ask them directly because I'm friendly with them. So I don't really want to but I do realise that there is, you know, I do realise that obviously they have responsibility themselves and the owners of the plan. So I'm interested to hear that, you know, John, you've got more insight on that. So, but I do think all of this needs to be, their responsibilities need to be made clear to them, because apart from anything else, I don't want to see them get into trouble inadvertently with enforcement officers or other people because they don't know what the legal situation is. I hate to see that happen.
So I think going forward, I'm definitely going to have to chase up the village council and double check what our permissions are. In the case that we are only allowed 56 days without rolling, like there's no one in there. The only concern I have is that we're not actually using the car park, it's mostly the community, and it was mostly to stop everybody parking in our car park, parking at Woodger.
But as we've explained with the car parking regulation for the cafe, you can't just go creating car parks on agricultural land by yourself without any plan.
No, but they have 28 days. We could use that. I let the cafe use that field for parking to keep the cars off the road.
Yeah.
And they had coaches. So I said, well, use the field.
Yeah.
But within 28 days, I had a letter from the enforcement officer saying you can't use this. If you want to use this, you've got to apply a proper planning application.
That's the
And
process.
what
I'm
they-
saying they would have
that's
to do.
exactly
They want to use it.
So they never
We
get
have to
it
have
because
that
of our road. The
because then you
situation,
get to make representation, you see.
it's only a byway access to the pub. It's not a main road, it's only a byway.
I think that the main problem is Barge Lane for the people living in Barge Lane. And what John said, if you can come to some arrangement, that will be a step in the right way of having a different access across John Street. That is correct, is it not?
Well, for the Honeyfest.
Yeah, for the Honeyfest.
But we don't want this camping.
No, we don't
on
want
the
this-
scale it's on at the moment.
Yeah.
I mean, the camping, originally the camping for the car, for the barging, they wouldn't have got a campsite at the barging if it hadn't been for me. I gave them land for passing places and we widened the entrance to the road by the bridge, which was all part of the planning application for them to get their camping down there in the first instance. That was 20 years ago.
How many people do they have allowed to park in the campsite at the moment, the actual campsite?
Well, that's it. There must be a license.
How many people are
No, sorry, how many?
That campsite is licensed.
How
and
many,
it must tell
how
them
many
on that
campers are
license.
you licensed to have in the campsite?
It's about 100, back last year, we had a thing with the council and measure out, it worked out about just over 100 campers.
Yeah.
Well, so why, if you can get 100 campers in there, then why do you need Trowbridge's field?
Sorry?
If you can get 100 campers in the campsite behind the barge, why do you need the field of 5 acres of field?
Because of the pandemic,
Well, that's the rubbish because of what. I think we could debate this one for all night.
Yeah,
Should have a
Well,
special,
planning, so a proper campsite there.
well, I had a letter from Alistair saying that you were going to put in
Back in
planning. You have
January.
never happened. Sorry?
Well, we've not, it's not been done.
And you got,
And
and
you-
you weren't supposed to by August
But
now.
Lenny, you're already using it. You're already using it.
You're allowed to use it.
And that's almost done.
Nearly done.
yeah.
That's almost done.
Well, the way we forced it.
No, but no,
Well, I'm afraid to say, I think this council will take it up now with Wiltshire Council enforcement to find out exactly what you are allowed, what you're not allowed, and I will be doing that. I would like Honeyfest to be a success. You've
Yeah,
done
we're
that
not
great.
against
We're
it.
not against it, well, I'm not,
I'm
but
not.
Yeah, the reason why we've got such a big space, it's a lot of it, it's the good people's space, what's been going on, so there is nothing.
but we haven't been consulted about
But
this
people
at
still
all,
live all
and none of the
around.
locals know.
Yeah, sure.
Just I lived next to Emma, last year, it was horrendous, you know, once. And I'm probably as far as you can possibly get away from anybody living
Oh,
in
that is
the
from the village, yeah.
And the noise at night was going on till 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, at the weekend particularly, was very disturbing. You know, and we just let it ride because it was pandemic, etc. Well, I personally don't want permanent, that to be a permanent feature of my life. I moved here because it's nice and quiet. I can see the stars, things like that.
And the police need to be making quite a presence too, coming backwards and
They
forwards.
do
driving.
absolutely fine, it's nothing, it's just been.
But what is that for?
Just because the first couple of times it's the police officers and the other guy, the other one's walking along just to say where we are.
Like not report to drugs?
No, the reason why we visited was a missing person.
Yeah.
Right.
There's nothing, you know, friendly, hello, they stopped and chatted to us, and chatted to me outside, no, no complaints, nothing, it's
Yeah.
just been friendly.
Can I just echo something that Roberts just said earlier, and I think probably was said, and I think John did. Half of the way to deal with these things is consultation. There is an element where the barge as a business is failing to consult with the parish council or the local community. You've got to be, you can't be surprised when people are worried, if you don't talk, you don't talk.
Oh, yeah, that's
I know, if I say just one thing, that the first notice that we found out that Honeyfest was going on as the local community was on Facebook.
And
I'm
the
sorry,
whole
that's not
summer
great.
schedule was just sent out on Facebook. And
Not great.
obviously it was like brilliant, look at all summer, every Friday, Saturday night, you've got to put up with that.
Can I draw this to a close, because
Yes,
I think we've all,
I've just got two specific requests.
Certainly, Emma.
Okay, my first request is, would the parish council get in touch with the Trowbridges and convey, like, if there is a responsibility here, could they be briefed on that by the council?
He should be aware of, he's letting the land, he should be aware of his rules and regulations.
Well, John Trowbridge is too plural.
It's Ian.
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 Yeah.
Ian would know.
Well,
He's
okay,
fine to take the
that's-
money at the end of the week,
Okay,
so.
but I don't, it's not, I don't,
Understood.
that's my request.
Yeah,
It's up to
yeah,
you,
yeah,
so
I
you
know,
know, you
yeah.
don't want to do it. And then my other request is regarding the Honeyfest thing, the thing that I'm really concerned about is this perimeter security. That I'm really.
You know it's not gonna work.
If you've not got perimeter security, and by perimeter security, I mean tall, big ass fences that people can't climb over, then it encourages people to come across the land from our direction or from the canal. So that is just a very specific request that I'd like to extend.
In response to that, I guess I can predict it, I tried to explain before, all our internal tours and some of the external tours will be built around the outskirts of the entire.
They won't stop.
And we will look into obviously putting some fences around, especially along the towpath. A lot of the community that do live along in the boats, they are pretty much part of the staff as well, and making sure we're inviting members and know that.
But I think you're charging £100 a ticket, is that true?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, you're gonna get loads of people trying to get in. You really are.
We're going to do everything.
Well, we never had
Well, people dotting around, they're gonna stop
Well,
them.
we never had lots of people trying to get past one, did it?
But this time.
Were you charging £100 a ticket?
This is a different year. This is Glastonbury Council, Washington's Council. I think I'm going to draw this to a conclusion. Thank you for coming. We are very concerned as a parish council that this might get out of control. You've got the message from us all. I think that if you can, we will definitely take this up with Wiltshire Council enforcement. We'll have to because of our parishioners locally.
So the 3 points, the one is the initial camping now, the days gone.
Yes.
Yeah, well, they're coming.
Yeah.
Close. So that started the 12th of April, yeah? There's been vehicles out there.
Yeah.
Then 2, well, is the ongoing music potentially every weekend now, well, from next bank holiday, I think. Do you have much going on this weekend?
All of the music's going to be inside farm.
Right.
None of it's outside of that.
So have you got a music license? You have got a music license?
Yes.
And how does that operate then?
We can make music from inside.
As far as I'm aware,
Yes.
the music license only covers music actually inside the pub.
Yeah.
That's inside. Yeah. All of the
Yeah, well, how come you have music Saturday afternoons and Saturday evenings outside the pub?
Yeah, you've got a lot of music outside
I
them.
mean, I can't have a barbecue in my garden because they've got loads of people shouting and hollering, and loads of music playing. I can't sit in my garden on a Saturday afternoon.
We could look next to a pub, I mean.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I
that's
just-
not the argument.
I
There's
just,
no
I
license
accept,
to play music, live music outside. as far as I know.
I
Gotta
accept,
be
I
inside
accept
then.
living next to a pub, and accept living next to a campsite. But not a festival site.
I don't think it is.
But not when you're employing
Not as
people.
you're not singing,
Music
Danny.
outside is very.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not going on with this.
No.
I'm-
No, so sorry, back to that, right, point 2 was the,
Right to the Trowbridges.
no,
Oh,
just the potential music every weekend from
Yeah.
now until Honeyfest, yeah? Whether if it's inside or out, like what?
It's
keep an
got to
eye
be
on it.
inside.
mm.
Number 3, Honeyfest, yeah?
Mhm.
Then number 4, contact the Trowbridges and make them aware that
Yeah.
they could be
In trouble.
they could lose their single farm payment, they're breaching, if there's no people staying on that field, the boundary fence has been put up, it needs to be returned to agricultural use, what it was there for.
The safety though, so most of the cars are actually from the community, so I'd say the council, that's.
What community, who uses
So one of
that?
the voters,
Right,
so it's,
People that-
we're actually all of the voters.
It's agricultural land, you can't just go park on it. Doesn't
can
matter.
they park in your pub car
The
park?
trouble is, when we do, we have people that live away, forget the camping and everything else, want to drive over and eat or have a drink, and there's nowhere for them to park.
Because it's.
So they take the
voters'
registry
cars.
off again, so we don't want to lose business.
No,
No, that's,
Yeah, but that's not it. But
that's because
Alistair
the
Wall-
voters parking
that's
in the
not your
car.
responsibility to be parking, letting them, like,
No,
you're
no,
not
so we
parking.
try and we put notes on cars, we do everything we
Yeah.
can.
And then maybe.
Well, that's, I mean, I was involved in running that pub, and we had exactly the same problem. Voters parked everywhere, people would drive in thinking, oh, the pub's full,
Yeah.
and off they go. Nobody in the pub, nobody in the pub.
We're trying to resolve that
Yeah.
by the overflow car park.
I think I'm going to stop us now.
Yeah,
If you're all
sorry,
happy. I mean, we don't want you to go away thinking we're anti the pub.
No, we're
I
not.
think most people would agree with you there. But we would like consultation and we would like to come to a really decent conclusion.
And it's got to be done legally.
And it's got to be done officially and properly. And I don't want the pub and the village parish council to be against each other. I would like to be feeling that I was supporting you. I'm going to say finally that when you did the festival last year, I personally, who live nearest the pub and John, I personally was not disturbed by it at all. And it was well managed. But we are very worried about it this year because I think everybody's right. There'll be an enormous influx of people.
So would it really put you at ease if we did just put that fencing in, would that,
Put-
would that solve?
Well, it wouldn't solve all the problems, but that would be a major
So it's
contribution to it for the Honeyfest, I think.
Would it help you if we presented
you with a list out and saying the concerns and. you
Yeah,
can
sure.
respond, would that be better?
Yeah, I can respond to them. And like I said, apologies that I haven't contacted you, because I was waiting for the feedback on the noise, the exact measurements that we can take. Here for the dates, obviously, you can't mark this on there because you feel that needs to be included, but obviously that's been brought to our attention. These are all the dates that we're going to actually have the field, the second field in use for camping. And like you say, we've got a night warden, and these dates are a maybe because we've got someone who's potentially asking their partner to marry.
But the second field, you need permission to do.
Yes, so we were told that, but that's what we.
And the other thing is, Alistair's aware of all this because I spoke to Alistair about it previously. He knows he's in breach of planning, but you just carry on and do it. You know,
Well, listen,
yeah, but he does. And
John.
I've said to Alistair, if he's got, come and talk to us. You know, we can sort things out, but you get no feedback. So
I'm going to move on now. I think we've all got the different messages. I'm going to say thank you for coming.
yeah,
Thank you.
And please, you know my phone number, you know my address. Alistair and I have corresponded several times before. I'm always available. I'm willing to come around and chat this through with you and you know, talk to my parish council about it. But it is an important item, and I think it needs to be taken really, really seriously. And thank you very much for coming.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. If you want to go now, we're going to move on. Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, John.
Sorry.
June,
Sorry, I didn't hear what
can
you
we
said.
make a meeting?
Yes, of course we can.
First time you don't.
Thanks, John.
I can't say just at the moment.
Yes, no, but just to say.
You'll have my phone number. Just to be made.
Alice's
Fine.
Yes, we can put it in touch with them. And we'll arrange a meeting. And we'll go, if anyone has any feedback.
Yeah, well,
Try and resolve it. Obviously, I kind of jumped in at the deep end. I didn't know that the agreement about we tried to get 2,000.
I'm going to get the, I'm just going to give Kyla my phone number, and then we're going back to the meeting. I'm sorry, Elizabeth.
We're going very improper, Elizabeth, sorry.
Oh, poor Elizabeth.
Bye.
Totally forgotten Elizabeth.
Okay, no, that's fine.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Sarah.
Shut the door. So, do you want the heating on?
Oh, for goodness, just put your coat
No,
on.
no, because my time has worked, we'll be done. Ever the optimist.
Let's crack on.
Thank you, everybody.
Well, communication, everything, absolutely.
Yeah. To discuss the RAF memorials, I don't know if you've seen all the information, but basically speaking, this one, which is the one in John's Field, to ask Richard Hickox if he'd repainted in. Well, Elizabeth also had somebody who couldn't find any of the memorials, so I've given her a map reference.
Well, actually, I tried, and I couldn't find it.
You've got to go further.
I didn't go far enough.
It did take me 3 years to find one.
I've given her a proper
That's the
grid.
secret of it, you know?
I've given
Not
her a
one
proper
order
grid
first year,
reference.
yeah.
Elizabeth, you got that, did you?
She's gone to sleep.
She's gone to
Don't blame her.
sleep. She's frozen.
She's frozen.
Frozen, John, she's
John,
frozen.
she's frozen.
Perhaps she's,
What three words? How do you use that?
well, we used to use what three words. When the ambulance came to do something, I said, you use what three words? I said, we don't know what they are. Where my neighbour is, we use what three words, but some people don't know what you're talking about when you say dog.
It will be, hopefully, more and more people. You find most people in the countryside know what it
Well,
is.
I gave Elizabeth the proper grid reference.
Yeah.
So, are we recording this?
Yes. I believe so, yeah.
So, I'm going to go on, is that all right?
Yes.
So, I'm going to ask Richard Hickox, who did the other memorial, he painted that in very nicely. So we're going to ask Richard to do that, okay?
Yeah.
To consider and agree to apply for a grant from Wessex Water Environment Fund for the springs. Now, if anybody wants to see that, There's a grant of £500. David Carson is going to fill in the form. I'm going to sign it on behalf of the parish council. Does anybody object?
No,
Is that unanimous?
you know.
Yes, thank you. I don't think we need to vote on that. Sorry, I'm moving this on. To consider and agree to nominate a trustee for the Robert Parish charity. Now, Holly desperately needs somebody to
So
be.
who was doing it before? Ben?
Well, Ben Owen,
Yeah,
and then sadly Carolyn White, who died.
yeah.
So we've lost two recently, but we need one from the parish council. It's the Robert Powell.
Oh,
Do you know what this is?
I'll do it.
Yeah.
Robert Powell charity.
You've got somebody.
Will you do it?
All right, Robert, calm down. Do it.
No, honestly, it's
No,
not,
ladies do.
it's not a big deal. Oh, Haley, thanks.
So Haley has volunteered.
No, I'm
Or we
volunteering.
volunteered, Haley.
Yeah, I think that was the right way around.
Oh,
Robert.
Can I say
thanks,
thank you very much,
Haley.
everybody?
Thank
That's
Okay,
marvellous.
okay.
And that's, Elizabeth will be delighted about that. Right, the planning application. Now, have you all seen this planning application for Newlands? Does anyone? I printed it all out.
I kind of had a look, but I was looking at it on my phone. It wasn't very,
Newlands is the building right at the top of the hill.
Newtown.
Newlands. I've written Newlands down, it's Newtown, that's sorry.
That's all right.
That's Luby and Jerry.
yeah.
I can
Next,
actually get it
next.
up on the.
No, they sold it.
Right?
They sold it.
Luby and Jerry's gone.
Anybody wants to look
They're
at
next door. They're in the stable.
Yeah, oh, they sold it.
When they sold their house. They've always been there.
It's
I know,
not-
I thought they'd gone.
Have you looked at it?
So the one that used to rent out, they've now sold.
Yeah, they sold it.
We were there first when they were doing, they had a go at a restaurant.
Yeah.
We were there
Restaurant with
first.
rooms.
Yeah.
Not that type of-
Let me find you the drawing, just showing it to Michael.
Oh, sorry, it's a restaurant.
Yeah.
That's existing, and this is what they propose underneath, new. I said Newlands, I can't think why. Newtown, I beg your pardon. And here, this is quite a difference. They are taking the front door out, and putting on an enormous porch there. But I think it will all look perfectly okay. I had a good skill to meet the rest of the building.
And it's so tucked away, nobody will see it.
Yeah, it's an isolated spot.
Yeah.
I haven't got any objection to it.
I didn't look at things like materials. Well, I did. There were.
They're going to do it in boarding and everything.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the existing materials are, just like windows and things, because it said it's all UVPC. I don't know if the rest of the house is that, whether the bigger planners will actually say, no, you should be using materials that are more suitable to the property. That's the only thing.
Here's the plan that just shows the extra floor plate there, and there. You just want to have it. I've printed out, if anybody wants to look at it. Have you looked at it, Haley?
Yeah, no, I briefly looked at it through my phone. It just wasn't that,
And you looked at it, right?
Yeah, I mean,
I've got no problem.
no problem apart from just using sort of suitable materials.
I've got an interest to share in this. This is why I asked my wife to marry me.
I don't think we're going to let you take that.
Oh, really? You have a real one?
That is Jeremy's and Ray's place.
oh.
Right.
How long ago was that?
Oh, guys.
1995,
Oh.
94.
I think, I don't think we're going to have any objections.
No.
Can we just have a vote on it so that we know it's unanimous? I'll propose we think it's fine, seconded by. All right.
My to raise a valid point though is what does it blend in the hospital already, because the materials are UPVC.
Sympathetic to the existing building. I think they're slightly sympathetic.
Well, I don't think Wiltshire Council will let them get away with anything that isn't.
It's not listed though, is it?
No, it's not, it's not.
No, it's just the things like it's an A&OB, isn't it?
I don't think we have that much say.
No.
My own opinion is it should go through. Yeah, it doesn't need any painting, that's the thing, isn't it? Are we happy to look?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So we're unanimously, what's the terminology we use? We support.
Have we lost her?
We have at the moment, yeah.
Oh, it's all right.
It is being recorded though, is it not?
It is.
Thank you. Yeah, support. Support. So maybe we move on to the next thing.
Well, we need a clerk's report, but.
Oh
let's
gosh, now
not-
this is where we get into technical difficulties. Right.
We'll skip that.
Right, I'm going to miss number 15 and I'm going to miss number 16 out for the moment.
Mhm.
And I'm going to consider and agree the purchase of the 12-sheet notice board. Now, this is going to be made by Rob White and it's going to look slightly like that.
Can I ask where's it going to go?
It's going to go where Alton's notice board is and Prior's notice board. He's just going to take the old ones off the wall and put a new one. It's going to be a 12-sheet one. And we've all agreed before you came to
No, I was
this.
just interested.
And Elizabeth asked us, said to me that as it was a financial matter of costing over £1,000, sorry, 1,350 to make two. It's the price we were quoted for one. So can
And
I
he's my neighbour and he's a brilliant.
have to look at his Facebook, so all of his work is there.
It's fabulous.
So I'm going to propose we accept it. Will you second it, somebody? Yes, and we're all, anybody against it? No, we're all in favour.
No, can we never mention them again though?
Yeah.
Like, job done. Notice board.
I thought we'd done it on email.
This has been 2 years, 2 years of notice board.
Years discussing no.
I've done my best. Right, now, to review council.
Every meeting is about a notice board.
I know. Comes
To
to
review and approve council standing notices, I think orders, sorry.
But it gets more like the bit we did the other day.
Well, I think we're there with that, aren't we?
Oh, God, yeah.
Does anybody not want to approve them? So I'm going to propose we approve them, somebody second it,
Yes, I'll second.
all vote.
That's right.
Improve, we're all in favour. All in favour, okay, all in
Yeah,
favour.
all in favour.
I'm taking that this is all being recorded, so hopefully it will be. To receive information correspondence, we haven't got
No,
any.
you've missed.
Oh, sorry, this one, to review and approve the council's financial regulations.
I can see Elizabeth back on the screen
I'll get that.
on the laptop.
I am back. Can you hear me?
Right. Oh, Elizabeth, you're sideways, but that's perfectly acceptable. Can you hear
Sorry
me?
about that.
Yeah, you're sideways. Oh, better. So,
Right. Are you there still, Elizabeth?
I am, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Perfect.
hooray.
We're going to go, we're on 19, we've left out 15 and 16. We've approved 14. And
Okay.
hopefully recorded. So I'm going back now to number 15 to receive information from the clerk's report, please, Elizabeth.
Okay, so let me pull it up here.
Welcome, Paul.
Hello.
Just a second, Elizabeth. Paul Oakley has just arrived, and Paul, I don't think you know our
No.
new member of our, you do, don't you?
Yes, we met at Baker's Corner.
Nice friends. Well, I'll have to fill you in with, what happens with the bars. But they've gone, I may come back to that in a second. We're on item number 16. And sorry, we're on item number 15, Elizabeth, to receive your report.
Yes, so just pulling up what I've got here. I just wanted not very much to tell you. Temporary closure of C8 part, Wilcott, Hewish, and and Alton, if I've pronounced that correctly. That's supposed to take place on the 25th of May. And Robert, I know, has put this on the website, but it's just to make everybody additionally aware. And the second thing is the insurance renewal is due for you all, which is the example I gave earlier for June, and I'll be sending around the details shortly. And the only third thing is, which we will come on to toward the end of the meeting, is the next meeting date. I've got a hard stop at the end of June for the AGAR to be done. We are no longer being given extension as we did last year. So I have to have everything into the auditor, or when the AGAR signed off by the 1st of July. So I will be asking for consideration of a bit of difference in how we meet next, on what date we meet, and perhaps moving the July meeting in place of having one at the end of June. Outside of that, that's really all I've got. The only other thing I will say is I will be sending around some documentation regarding the standing orders, and specifically also about the code of conduct. And at some point in time in the slower part of the year, I would like the council to revisit the code of conduct. There's a new code of conduct that is being rolled out. And I'll be sending it around for your review. And I would appreciate, please, having some real conversation about the content and incorporating that into, or potentially incorporating it into your code of conduct that you currently work to. But that's just to give you a heads up that that's coming.
Thank you. We've done the financial matters. Do anyone have any questions for Elizabeth first of all? Can I move on? Number 16. To receive a budget outcome for the previous year, you sent us that, and what do we need to do about that, Elizabeth? That's okay, is it?
It's just for you to receive. What I would encourage is that you go ahead and have a look. If there's any questions that you have on it, please just email me. I'll happily come back and I'll incorporate your questions and answers for members of the public in the next meeting.
Have you all seen it? Yeah, you've all seen, and that's fine. And the bank reconciliation I've got, has anybody seen that? Is that all right, Elizabeth? Can we move on from that?
Yes, that is absolutely. Yep.
I've read that. Is anybody else? Is there any problem with that?
No, I've seen it online.
Right.
There is one thing, sorry, just stepping back a slight bit on the finances, so you are aware. We had £450 budget, and so I rolled that over to the 900 for the notice boards, just so you are aware. So financially speaking, we'll be fine on that. But otherwise, if you have any other queries, do put them in writing to me, and I'll make sure that you get them.
I missed what you said.
Yeah, it broke up.
It broke up. Could you say it again?
We had £450 left over in the budget from last year, which has then been rolled over into the earmark of 900 for the notice boards. So you'll be fine in your financial situation for the notice boards this time.
Yeah.
Okay.
To review and sign those payments present at the meeting, and that's what I've got here, and that's for me and Polly to sign. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yes.
Do you want me to do it now?
Yes, if you wouldn't mind going through. For matter of transparency, you will see that Charlton Baker has got 3 checks going to them. We had, as a council, decided that that was going to be on direct debit. It has come to my attention recently that the direct debit was not going through properly. So to catch up with the matter of paying for the payroll people that do payroll, we're cutting checks in this instance, but they are supposed to be sending me a proper form to try again. It's just so you know.
Properly, you've not gone through at all, I hope.
No. But I wasn't aware that Baker made, and I don't know that they were aware that there was that gap of time before they had been made aware they.
Sorry, Colin, my name is. Oh, my goodness. Sorry, everybody. Elizabeth.
Yes,
Usually stop it.
Oh, gosh, I'll do that afterwards. It's also done it. Elizabeth, we need to get Carol Wickle off the payments.
yes, that's my next step, is I'll need to print that out, send it over for wet signature, and then get it sent off to get it sent off. And then we'll need to add on the new counselors as well. So I'm doing that for all 3 of my councils currently.
Okay, I'll initial everything afterwards, okay? Can I move on to our policy signing? Is that all right, everybody? Sorry, there's so much to do. To review and sign the payments, which we're doing at the moment. E, to consider and approve the temporary increase to delegate expenditure against the agreed budget to the parish clerk in conjunction with the chair from 500 to 1,000 until September. What does that mean exactly, Elizabeth?
That is just corresponding with the original delegation at the beginning of the meeting. For instance, we couldn't, if we had all the information for the notice boards, for instance, we would not have been able to do that in the delegation process because our financial regs state that we have a cap of 500. So it just increases that till the end of the September time, in case there is a need for it.
That's the thing we discussed right at the beginning, so Elizabeth and myself have the right to. So, thank you, Elizabeth. We've agreed while you were offline to purchase the notice board unanimously. We've reviewed the standing orders, and now number 19, to review and approve the council's financial regulations. I don't think that's no problem, is it?
No, it is not a problem. We would be pending, there should be no changes in the financial regs.
Do we have to vote on that, or can we just?
Yes, they do. They do need to vote on it, yes.
Right. So I will, would somebody like, I propose, or Mike Spence will propose and I'll second. Oh no, Ewan will second. That gives it a nice mix. Thank you. Sorry, Liz. I'm just trying to get it moving.
And just going back for 16E, are you actually making the adjustment of 500 to 1,000, or are you leaving it at 5?
No, I think we're making it to 1,000. Yeah.
So you do need, that's a separate vote that you're actually taking.
Okay, so first of all, we're going to raise that from 500 to 1,000. That gives us a bit more leeway. Are we all in? Proposed by Mike Spence, seconded by Ewan, agreed unanimously.
Yeah.
Right. And we've reviewed and approved the council's financial regulations as well. Right. To receive from information, correspondence and circulars received. Are there any, Elizabeth, extra? Besides all the 20 you sent me this afternoon.
Yeah. No, beyond that, no, there are no additional ones.
I haven't looked at the ones this afternoon, but I will during the day. We've got Paul Oakway here, and I haven't let him speak yet. Do you think I ought to? Oh, I'm so sorry to leave you. But while we've lost Elizabeth online. Paul, I think actually congratulate you on your 70% win when you weren't here, but congratulations.
Well done.
And can I say thank you on behalf of us all for all the stuff you do quietly, not so quietly, but in the background for us. And thank you very much.
And I have to say, it's the first time in my life I have voted Conservative.
Oh,
I should tell you all that. It's interesting because you're not the only one that said that.
All right.
Not the other said that. But no, thank you for your kind words. It is appreciated. Thank you very much indeed. And it's been great pleasure working with some of you for the last 8 years and some of you for quite recently, one of us. So, and the strategy doesn't change. You know, I mean, it's business as usual as far as I'm concerned. It's working with parish councils.
and the community, whatever colour flag we fly, at the end of the day, you know, that's it. But I think tonight actually just send a bit of a message out to me as well. Is actually I have to work with you and actually get things right. So to put it in perspective, Tuesday was Stanley Burger, Wilcott, Hewson Hall. Last night was all Callington Island in the North Newton. Tonight is up over yourselves, and I'm going to get somewhere else after that. So I think actually going forward, I need to sort of perhaps think a better timeline of the council meeting, because I don't think it's right it's just a drop in and drop out. That's not my style. So it may well be that actually, you know, if they're clashing, I'll see you this time, I won't see you next time, and actually want to see something like that. So I just need to get myself head of the road, because the enlargement of this division there has made quite an impact. There's not only Allington and all Cannings, actually it is actually a good impact. But we are where we are. So I noticed the enforcement law has been put in on the hedge down the road at Chandler's Cottage. I'm sure that will please some people and upset other people. But for me, I think the side of the fence I sit on is actually that was the right thing to do, because actually, you know, it was a temporary application initially. Yes, I only want this temporary, I'll put it back, and then that didn't happen. So actually, you want to play that game, you've got to play by the rules. And I think actually, perhaps the applicant had gone where the other way about it, it might be a different outcome. I don't know. But you know,
Well, I think it's already happening. It's happened, isn't it?
Yeah.
I see that. I saw that today. I see it.
Yeah, but no, I agree, like you said, if it was done in a different manner, I would have considered it in a different way. And I actually did to start with. I considered it totally different. And then it was just no.
Yeah, I agree. I think you're absolutely right. And that's exactly what I was saying.
Yeah.
Baker's corner, well, I swam through that on the way here. I mean, we know that's going to be addressed, and we know the way in which how he's going to deal with that. And I think I just need to keep the foot on the pedal, keep the pressure on, and to get that done. Well, your pitches
It's off the pedal, that's the problem going on.
Could I ask a question on that?
Yeah.
Would it be possible to see the plan before the work goes ahead?
I'm sorry, I didn't get that.
Would it be possible to see the plan before the work goes ahead?
Yeah.
The only reason I'm saying is that they've kind of come along a couple of times before and didn't get done.
Yeah.
It would just be good to know that.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think, Robert, they said they wanted to get drainage sorted out first of all, didn't they?
Yeah.
Once they sorted the drainage out, that's when they're going to do the resurfacing. But I agree with you. Let's get the plan up front. Let's see what the plan looks like.
While we're on that subject, it does, because when you and I spoke to the drainage guys and the Yorkshire Highways guys, they sort of implied that we needed to, as a parish council, write to landowners, reference the ditches.
Yeah.
Because it would be pointless doing the work without that element. Is that something we as a parish council need to do still?
I think I'll speak to them first of all, Mike, to get that plan sorted out, and we'll take it from there.
Yeah. Just that the other council members know, there was, when it was that part was resurfaced, the contractor also filled the ditches in with loose stuff off the road. So Wiltshire Highway said they were going to approach the contractors to get the ditch cleaned out. They didn't think it was appropriate for farmers to have to do it.
No.
But the other ditches, which are blocked, they need to be addressed.
But like we have parish stewards should be going around and doing the smaller of the blockages, which we discussed.
Yeah.
So the parish steward should be aware of what's going on as well and reporting back.
But what's happening is they're doing it's got a specific name, isn't it?
The spits.
That's it. But they go to nowhere.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah, the whole area is not together properly. It's a mess down.
I can't sleep.
The pub is what I'm particularly interested in, as to where we are at the see speaking.
Right, the pub sent 3 people round. If I miss something out, will you correct me? They've sent it, and as far as we can see, they have not got proper permission for their car park. For their campsite, their extra campsite, which they're using for 56 days, but they're using it, as far as I can gather, for car parking during the week and pretending there are any campers going in at the weekends. Is that what we've got?
That's what they said.
Yeah, parking for the community.
Yeah.
voters.
That's the voters, and the chief worry from a lot of people was the fact is that they've got 499 tickets they're allowed, or people they're allowed to have on this campsite for the Honeyfest. But our main worry, I think, was that there's no serious protection from the people walking along the campsite and hopping under a fence and getting in. I think they took that on board, and they haven't been in contact with the community at all, or the parish council. And I think they went away slightly with their tail between their legs, really saying, realizing we're not against them, but we want it done properly and efficiently. Have I missed anything else?
No, Skylar did come down and put a very, they were obviously prepared.
Oh,
Yeah,
What they wanted to say.
Skylar knows what she's on about. She's.
And that was fine, but then most of that's wrong, so.
Yeah.
There were elements, yeah, absolutely. There's elements that, as far as traffic control, that were a little bit pie in the sky.
Yeah.
But they believed that everybody would turn up in a staggered way. They would be all held on camp until such time the festival ends and then released then. There'll be people going backwards and forwards all the time, and they failed to address that part.
And they had not thought about a perimeter fence. And that is crucial because people will just, they think they've only got 499, and they think that people patrolling the perimeter will be able to stop people coming in, which is absolutely ridiculous.
Just 50 people turn up and 50 cars, but chaos for them.
Absolutely, they need a proper perimeter fence with one entrance.
What I will do, I'll write a letter to you all of a précis of what I think it's going to be, and then I shall write to Skylar at the barge and say what we think.
And I do think more for the residents is more about what's happening at the moment too.
Yeah.
Than
Not
Honeyfest.
just Honeyfest.
I think
No,
if we can go to the
Yeah, I mean,
Honeyfest, we've got a couple of months yet.
Yes.
the other thing about Honeyfest is that we all work hard during the week, and a bank holiday, and the entire bank holiday is taken up. You know,
Well, they invited you, Mark, can't you go?
And there was discussion also for about the fact that they've got outside music at the moment, and they don't have a license for outside music. You know, so there's quite a lot of
And
bending the rules in little ways all the time.
I did want to bring it up with them, but the night I went down to see John was when it had just opened. The rules, like you were just allowed to open. It was a free for all.
yeah.
Now, how have you got? You've got an establishment on the opposite side of the canal who are sticking by their seating plans, their rules, and on the opposite side, you just do what you want. No masks, no distancing. It's just.
And we've had to mention breaches, COVID breaches before. We'll walk around the area and we regularly see.
We did last year.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Didn't we? There was a
And then
lot.
they
They had
apologise and, you know.
No, it's not good enough. I think, I mean, I didn't want them to, I don't want there to be, I don't want the parish council and the barge to be at loggerheads. We need to work together and discuss it. But until they realise that they haven't approached us and all the concerns were very genuine from everybody.
Yeah, I mean, it was ridiculous. Lenny said, wait, we were on about outside music. We can't stop people playing guitar. No, that wasn't the problem. It's the people you booked to play outside. That's the problem.
Well, no, and it's what the boaters play.
Yeah.
They're playing music off the boat there. It's not even, the barge aren't even doing it. I understand that in a situation where they're supplying car park for the community, but it's not their responsibility. I know they take up their car parking space, but it's not the pub's responsibility to make car parking for them.
No, absolutely not.
Anyway, I'm going to make a précis of it all. I've sent it around my parish council and asked them to kind of just start it up and Amy and you, all of you, anything I miss out, unless somebody else wants to do it for us. But I'll do it. I won't do it until next week, but I will do it. And I'll send it round to you, and when they've all approved it, I'll send it on formally to the barge and you.
I've spoken to CJ, breach of 28-day rule. His view on that is if someone can give evidence of the breach, you investigate it. Onto your report you're sending to me, once I've got, what's in possession of that, I'll look at that as to what we consider as the breaches or concerns. And then on your back, I'll take that with Wiltshire Council and Wiltshire Police.
Can I just mention one thing? one of the concerns was that they tend to be using this extra field campsite every day. And they seem to understand that the other concern is Mike said that with this 28 days, it's meant to be consecutive. Am I
Well,
correct?
because of COVID, it's been doubled. You're allowed
Yes, but
56 days, but
It's
it's
meant to
not.
be consecutive. It's not meant to be every other weekend.
continuous.
Yeah, exactly.
So
But it has to be
the article in the Farmers Weekly, like despite the extensions of the PDRs to 56 days, it may be necessary to obtain a license if the site is open for 42 consecutive days during the overall period.
And
Yeah.
that's what they're doing.
However, another rule to be aware of is the land must be restored to its original condition between the periods of use. So say they use it on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday,
They have to
that
remove the
week,
cars.
it's got to go back.
it needs to be,
Back
which
to-
Emma was trying to get the point across.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Can you just scan that and send us a copy of that?
Yeah, it's not a very good,
Oh, no,
no, because I scanned it out the Farmers Weekly.
well,
So,
can you just take
Yeah,
a copy
yeah, of course.
and send it round, because that'd be quite useful.
But hang on, when did they start this 28-day, 56-day mark?
it's for a diversion, like to diversify on.
To allow.
I know, but what date did they start?
Oh, those particular, the 12th of April.
So
They-
12th of April, well, we must be coming up to.
Listen.
I did get sent a few photos, but unfortunately they don't have the dates on them, which isn't,
They will have a date on the back. You will find a date on the.
no, email.
Oh, sorry, no. Paul, you need to get on, I can tell.
Can you send me the evidence, or Haley sends you stuff, Robert, you send me some stuff, once I'm in possession of that, I can actually start talking to you, take it forward.
Yeah.
Because, you know, here we go again, really.
Yeah.
Never ending.
Thank you so much, Paul.
Well, times for jumping in and jumping out, it's lovely to see you again.
Thanks, Paul, congratulations, yeah.
And
Yeah.
we'll see you soon. If you send us some stuff, then please do.
They're pretty useless, to be fair,
Okay.
until I get the dates.
All right, your name's picked up.
I know.
Is Elizabeth back with us? Okay.
Yeah, she doesn't need to be.
Robert,
Yeah.
taking what Paul said about his busy schedule of parish meetings, is there any way that we can coordinate with other
Well, I
parishes?
just thought, immediately, I took her on board.
Yeah.
We'll try and stick, we won't arrange the next meeting at the moment. I think we just wait, because Elizabeth started off by saying this new scheme, we said we don't have to have quite so many meetings. So if you're all happy, we'll arrange the next meeting in the next few weeks, but by email. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Considering maintenance, there's nothing, key messages, I don't think there is. The next meeting, I think we're going to discuss it. Okay. Can I welcome you again, Mike, and thank you all for coming. I'm sorry, it's a very long meeting.
How is her mum?
Second, let me just stop this.
Robert, Hugh Potter,
Have I what?
Hugh
Cotter?
Potter,
Yes, yeah.
he's got the photos.